so many out there. I mean, we wouldn't have enough time to cover it in just one session, but when we look to war and aggression and intolerance and terrorism, that's something that strikes us as something that's totally like poles apart from what Islam stands for. A lot of times we hear anytime one person who's committing an act of aggression, they associate the religious term of Islam or Muslim to that person. Whereas if it's someone from another faith, they usually don't identify that person with the religion, like the person in the Virginia Tech shooting. And in all cases, this is one thing we like to clarify. Islam totally stands against terrorism in all means, and it's totally forbidden. In fact, there's a verse from the Holy Quran in the 5th chapter and the 32nd verse to the effect, I'll paraphrase it because there's the Arabic term, but the English paraphrased is, the killing of one soul is like the killing of all of humanity, and the saving of one life is like the saving of all of humanity. In fact, the Prophet Muhammad, when we just go back to our roots at the time of Prophet Muhammad, the teachings in the Quran, the way he dealt, they avoided fighting for 13 years in Mecca. They were being persecuted, killed, tortured, and it was only in the last 10 years where they were able to fight back, defend themselves. And during those times there was a strict code of conduct during war, combatant versus uncombatant, that Prophet Muhammad forbade killing children, elderly, the innocent, and even burning down trees and crops and buildings. These are all forbidden because Islam's a religion of peace, and God says in the Quran that, I'll recite the Arabic, La ikraha fi din, let there be no compulsion in religion. And there's another verse that's in the 2nd chapter, in the 8th chapter. He says, وَإِن جَنَحُوا لِلسِّلْمِ فَاجْنَحْ لَهَا وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. If they incline towards peace, then you incline towards peace and place your trust in God. So in terms of terrorism, Islam forbids even harming an innocent soul. Weapons of mass destruction go away. I mean, that's like killing someone.
Well, it seems that the religion has, in a real sense, been hijacked.
It has.
And it's getting a bad reputation because all of those things that you say, how do you explain that, Doctor?
Well, you know, there's a history in the West. There's a book by Samuel Huntington called The Clash of Civilizations. And the archetypes that we are dealing with now, it's almost, you have the tension between the Christian West and the Muslim East. And it's almost like we're skidding back to the days of the Crusades because people are seeing the modern current events through the lens of the Crusades. And there's no such thing in Islam. Jihad does not mean a holy war. Jihad means struggle, making effort. So for example, if I'm trying to solve a calculus problem, that's jihad. If I'm working, trying to get money to feed my family, that's jihad. Jihad means struggle, and life is struggle. So jihad is life. And so people take that kind of language and say there's a holy war, there's no such thing. No wars are holy. And then so on the opposite side of that you have the Crusades and so forth. So I think that in terms of that conflict, you know, Islam is strictly against oppression, it's strictly against violence. It's a religion of peace. The very word Islam means peace, and that's the way I would view that.
Mr. Fakhruddin, over the last 2 minutes that we have here, why don't we allow you to make a couple of statements so that we can end by having Dr. AAl-Hadid sort of summarize what he believed we could do, because he and Dr. Baldwin, and especially your book, Cross and Crescent, I want him to say some statements in reference to that. Give us some statements about some of the things that you're thinking about now.
A few things is we really invite people to learn about Islam. We're not here trying to proselytize or trying to convert people. That's not what we just want people to be educated and want ourselves to be represented according to the scriptures of the Quranic text and what Islam stands for. And we invite, we have people come to the Islamic Center on a weekly basis, classes, or we go, people ask us to share what the true message teaches. So that's all. We want to represent it properly, and we're just so glad to be in this community.
Very good. Make some statements about the book that you and Dr. Lewis Baldwin co-authored, dealing with Cross and Crescent.
We wrote a book that came out in 2002 entitled Between Cross and Crescent. Dr. Baldwin is a Christian scholar, and I'm a Muslim scholar. So we decided that we would write this book using as narrative the life of Dr. Martin Luther King and also the life of Malcolm X. But the broader picture is we're looking at the creative tension between Christianity and Islam. And the main thing that we have come to understand after having written this book is that we need interfaith dialogue now more than ever. You know, the 20th century, as Du Bois said, was about the color line. So we had a lot of conversations about race. In the 21st century, I think we need to have some principled dialogue about religion, because the 21st century will be the dialectics of religion. And we need to become more tolerant and more understanding of each other. And the more we can come together and have these conversations, the less there will be a need for political conflict or military conflict.
Very good. And of course, over the last 30 seconds that we have here, Dr. Al-Hadid and Mr. Fakhruddin, let us thank the two of you for coming by and giving us that excellent information. While we were unable to perhaps cover all of the myths and misunderstandings and misconceptions, we do feel that we gave a fairly good idea in terms of the difference between the religion that you're practicing now and the difference between the kind of religion that we see on our televisions late in the afternoon. And of course, we want to thank you for that. And let us also encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.